EA just announced its biggest update of the year to College Football 26 to address some of the game's biggest issues, including a ton of tuning and changes coming to Dynasty mode, new uniforms and accessories for dozens of teams, and some brand new coaching adjustments designed to address blocking issues that will most likely also be coming to Madden 26 in the near future. So if you guys want to learn more, stick around after the intro. If you guys need fast, cheap, reliable coins for your ultimate team, check out my coin sponsors at MMOXP.com and use discount code MONEYSHOT for 6% off your order. Link in the description below.
The champ is here!
Welcome back, Money Teams. This is Mad Money Shot, sniffing out the college cheese as always. In today's video, I'm going to go over the patch notes that were just released for College Football 26's update that's going to be coming out tomorrow. But I'm going to tell you guys right now, this is absolutely massive to the point where I'm probably going to have to make a second video about some of the things like the uniform changes and stuff that they made, some of the new accessories and stuff like that. I'll probably make a second video tomorrow. So if you guys want to see that, please make sure to be a subscriber, hit the like button, let me know in the comment section, and put on the notification bell, because like I said, I'm going to be showing some of that stuff tomorrow, as a lot of this stuff sounds really cool. They got some new formations and stuff like that as well on defense, to the point where it's really going to be probably more beneficial to have a second video when this update drops, so that I can show you guys some of these things. But I'm going to tell you guys some of these things first, because there really is a lot of really unique information here. Starting off with pass blocking, which has been one of the bigger issues for a lot of people this year. I was actually in the middle of recording a video for Madden 26 about how to basically improve your pass blocking, but this is going to be really helpful, because they're basically saying that they're going to add some new functions to help with that. What people were mostly complaining about when it comes to pass blocking is there's a lot of offensive formations, typically play action formations, where there's like a half slide to the offensive line that nobody asked for, and it's causing a lot of free rushers to get in and stuff like that. So they're basically adding some stuff to help out with that. But I'm going to start from the top here. It says added option to base set protection by default, which it says dev note, for players who don't want built-in pass protections on passing plays, we have included a new coaching adjustment to allow players to elect base protection as the default protection for when drop back passing, for all drop back passing plays. So basically, when toggling this option on, players will still have the ability to change their protection before the play via the pass protection adjustments menu, but ultimately it's just going to take away all these half slide offensive looks for the entire game, which is really cool. I don't know how they went ahead and did that, but they added something in the coaching adjustments so that you can turn off all the nonsense, all the half slides and stuff like that. I'm wondering, it says base protection, which isn't as good as some other base protections where like you see like the linemen will pass off guys a little bit easier, but instead of coming out and setting it to base every single time, which is kind of difficult if you're dealing with like stadium noise and stuff like that. There's enough issues with making protection calls, especially when it comes to making hot routes and stuff like that. So it's nice to have an option to basically just turn that off in the coaching adjustments, which I think is a really big win for people that were having issues when it comes to protection. Now, there's a lot of other stuff here as well, where they talk about how they corrected certain things, but I'm not going to bore you with all of it, as it just sounds like they ultimately tried to improve pass blocking in a lot of very specific ways. Maybe there was a couple of stunts here. They talk about the nickel single mug, where they were talking about the exit two-man stunts, and it sounds like they basically just trying to nerf the nickel single mug. I guess you could do an exit two-man instead of the typical Texas four-man. They don't mention the Texas four-man at all, by the way, so I'm guessing that's still going to be just as overpowered. But they talk about that. They also talk about retuning to reduce illegal man downfield penalties caused by block steering. They talk about tuning defensive tackle bull rush behavior near the goal line to better react to scrambling quarterbacks. I know a lot of people will take over their quarterback close to the goal line and score that way. It also says tuning to improve unnecessary target swapping / switching and empty pass protection, which obviously, once again, would allow a lot of people to get them free. It also says fix an issue allowing defenders to be slanted into the same gap in four-man defensive fronts, which obviously would cause probably disengaged pressures and stuff like that. And then they talk about, you know, that's pretty much it. So a lot of improvements made. Now on the offensive side, it seems like they're also nerfing catching over powered aggressive catching. If you guys noticed, has been a big issue since the game released. It says fix an issue allowing receivers to hang on to too many passes instead of getting the ball knocked out. It also says tuning to increase catch drop animation frequency in contested catch situations, which means that you're not just going to be able to go up and catch every single ball like you've been able to do since the game came out. And then it says improve some situations where collisions with the receiver at the snap would disrupt the time of the route, which is also really annoying. And these are all things that I think would benefit Madden Madden as well. On defense, they talk about some coverage adjustments that they made as far as hook zones specifically, where they say that when you're playing underneath or you're playing over the top, a lot of times you would only see an adjustment change to the flats. So if you're in a cloud flat and you play underneath, you can turn to a hard flat. Well, now they also made it so that if you play underneath, the hook defenders in the middle of the field, the yellow hook defenders, are going to adjust their routes to playing at 5 yards. So if you got somebody running double drags and you play underneath to try to stop it, typically you'd have to wait till they get all the way across the field for the flat routes to actually take effect. Well, now the hook routes are going to play underneath too. So if somebody's running a lot of short passes and you play underneath, the entire defense is going to play down, with the exception, obviously, of the deep zones. Now, it also says that they updated the hook defender depth when it comes to playing over the top as well. So if you play over the top wanting to turn your hard flat into a cloud flat, it's also going to turn your hook defenders into deeper hook drops, where they're going to drop back to about 12 to 18 yards, which is also very cool once again. But just be aware that there will be, obviously, if you're playing over the top, you're not going to want to do that on like a 2nd and 5 or something like that, because you're just going to leave everything underneath wide open. So be more careful with what you do with these adjustments. It also says that they updated the vertical hook zone, which is something that I've talked about in recent videos in Madden, where they basically will follow receivers. Now it will not. If you go to your coaching adjustments or you custom stem these zones, they will no longer match, which is really the strength of them. And this is why I tell a lot of people when they ask me that I don't set my coaching adjustment zone drop depths, because it takes away the matching principles, and I feel like the matching principles are probably the most important. So they also updated the 3-rack hook logic to defend swing routes from the opposite side of the formation and behind the line of scrimmage. So now 3-rack hooks will play down to routes that are under the line of scrimmage. It also says it updated the cover 9 3-rack hook defender guarding the running back crossing the field. So 3-rack hook might be a little bit more aggressive. It also says updated press animation logic to ensure defenders match user called press at the line of scrimmage. Which is something that's, if you basically try to press defenders, a lot of times they still wouldn't go down and press. So that's probably what they're talking about there. There's a lot of stuff here, so I'm kind of just trying to stick to like the major issues that people have been having. As there also is they say here, fixed duplicate jersey numbers for offensive linemen on field. I don't know if that's a 56 player glitch or not, which is something that's been in the game since last year. I hope it is, but it's something that they really don't specify, which is why, like I said, I'm gonna have to make a second video about this tomorrow to go over some of the stuff here more adequately of what's getting changed. I'm gonna go over run game here, as it says that they enabled quarterback juke moves for halfback and wide receiver in wildcat formations, as well as fixed an issue where QB's speed burst was not working as intended. So now I don't know if that means they slowed it down, because there was kind of a glitch where you could burst out of the pocket with the quarterback. So maybe that's what they're talking about. But it also says tuned power shed frequency and improved edge leverage behavior on outside runs. Which means that obviously people are running to the outside more often, and it's just more difficult. It's easier to run outside, so it sounds like they're trying to nerf that a little bit by making the edges just do a little bit of a better job of maintaining outside runs. Now they have also hot routes and audibles. It says updated logic, so the offense cannot instantly flip the play or audible when walking to the line from the huddle, which is something that, once again, it's an exploit people are using when they're flipping the play and stuff like that, and it's just hard to keep up as a defender. It says tuning to better balance hot route timing between elite and lower rated quarterbacks. It says dev note, updated the delay for consistency between all quarterbacks regardless of the animation that they triggered. Some animations would take longer time to finish, and it would inhibit a user's ability to quickly make adjustments. Now all quarterbacks have the same time delay in between adjustments, which is totally cool. It says tuning to hot route time delay time to make the timing under center formations more consistent with gun and pistol. So the animations that you would do in under center were just a lot more elongated, to the point where it would take longer to make adjustments under center than it would in shotgun formations. Now they also say that they resolved the freeform passing reticle issue. Apparently it was snapping back to the initial location. I can't say they really noticed that too much. For run defense, they talk about how they added logic for the edges to play the quarterback on boot naked runs when in a contain assignment, which means normally they would chase the handoff. They would go after the play action, but if you have them in a QB contain, then they shouldn't be doing that. They should be going after the quarterback, or they should be their focus should be maintaining the quarterback in the pocket. Now that was a lot of stuff, but they also apparently tuned signature animations and celebrations. Apparently they couldn't even get that right. So I'm not going to go over all the specific things that they tuned, but they did try to patch some of the signature celebrations that weren't working. Next up, we have more coaching adjustments, although we have AI logic mixed into this as well. But it says they added a safety coaching adjustment depth option to 16 yards, which is really cool because now you have 5 and 8, and I don't think any of the other ones are really usable. So now you also have 16, which I kind of like. After that, it also says that when it comes to tuning AI, it says tuned AI defensive play calling to avoid prevent in 2-minute drill. I don't know if they're running prevent the entire way. I don't know. And then it also says that updated AI logic to avoid goal line defenses versus 4 wide receiver sets. So if you're on the goal line in a 4 wide, they might still come out in a goal line defense, which is totally stupid. So we got special teams here too. Improved lead blocker decision making on kick returns, and it says adjusted kick return alignment to ensure reachability on onside kicks. So I guess that there was a glitch going around where you could do an onside kick glitch, and a lot of times there just wasn't. You could put it in a place where a lot of people couldn't get the ball. So it sounds like they nerfed that as well. Next up, we're going to go over Dynasty. This is one of the bigger ones. Actually, I think we'll go over Road to Glory first because it's a little bit smaller. We'll save Dynasty. But it says Road to Glory fixed an issue where the user player would be randomly subbed out of the game due to fatigue. Obviously, people want to play. Added a new NIL deal with Chipotle. And then it also says fix an issue where sacks were not giving negative tape scores during highlight moments. I don't know what that is. I don't play Road to Glory. Added a confirmation pop-up when quitting a high school moment, and then it says disabled illegal touching penalty in Road to Glory high school gameplay. Now for the changes to uniforms and options for like uniform pieces, I'm not going to read all these off. I'm just going to try to have them popping up on screen so you guys can see them. Like I said, I would like to make a video tomorrow, maybe showing you guys what these actual uniforms look like. So, make sure to check back tomorrow. But I'm basically just buying time right now to show you guys all the different things here. As you can see, there's a lot of new helmets and a lot of new just uniforms in general, which I think is really popular when it comes to college football. They also have some new songs, as they have pop song covers playing in the title menu. Where now they have 10 new songs that they're gonna have, including the ones you're seeing on screen. Once again, like I said, I'm not gonna read them off, but you can see them on screen right now. Then you have new commentary intros for 56 rivalry games, 15 stadium light shows, which they added, and 10 anticipated matchups for the new 2025 season, which I'll show you guys here, but it says and many more. So you can see a couple of options here that they show, but it doesn't necessarily show all of them because, like I said, they're not going to have them all listed for whatever reason. And then last but not least, I'm going to go over Dynasty. Now, this is a very big section, and a lot of it's really small, so I'm just going to read it to you guys and let you guys decide what's important when it comes to Dynasty. So starting off here, it says fix an issue where complimentary and competitive visits would not show properly in the off-season recruiting. Fix an issue where the encouraged transfer spreadsheet was auto-sorting by speed. Fix an issue in encouraged transfers where the roster size counter would display incorrectly after viewing a player card. Fix an issue where players were not earning enough XP when manually progression was set to on. Fix an issue where off-season visits were not giving enough influence. Fix an issue in training results where 2 users in an online dynasty couldn't manually progress players at the same time. Fix an issue where playing style stats were not calculating correctly for some positions. Fix an issue where the team needs module was double counting signed players at each position. Improve logic around playing time deal breakers. This one's probably a big one. When other players at a position enter the pro draft. Fix an issue that caused incorrect playing time grades to display for the school that a player left in the transfer portal due to playing time. Once again, another big issue. Fix an issue where career records broken include stats earned at a different school. And that says fix an issue that caused schedule visits in the offseason to process a week later than they should. Fix an issue where you could see deal breakers of players on another user's team in online dynasty. Increase the size of players' season health pool at the start of the next season. Note the size of the season health pool is still determined based on how full it is at the end of the season. This change makes that size more forgiving if a player uses most of their current year health, which obviously that wear and tear meter is a little bit restrictive. It says fix an exploit allowing you to have multiple visits with the same recruit. Fix an issue where defensive tackle did not appear in the wear and tear auto subs menu. And then it says fix an issue where the trophy room team banner would not properly update to the current school. Fix an issue where completion showed a 0 in the post-game score. Update the Jim Thorpe Award to the Paycon Jim Thorpe Award. Fix an issue where you could not uncheck ready to advance in the online Dynasty. It says weekly summary will now show when a player is visiting in a current week, and it also says they updated SMU grass field to grass. So got through those pretty quick. I'm gonna go ahead and end the video there because I don't want this video to be too long. But if you guys want to see a part 2 tomorrow, make sure to be a subscriber. Other than that, if you guys want to see more videos about college football, just put one out yesterday. I'll have that pop up on the screen, so just click the link. And until next time, thanks for watching, man. Much it out. Need more help or just want to show your support? Then head over to my Patreon and join my team, where you can get exclusive content like ebooks and bonus plays, as well as early access to my vids and more. Link in the description below.